This program contains adult content.
Is there a God?
Big atheist.
Really?
What, am I an idiot? Come on.
That yes, it would be nice if you could throw your sins and your responsibilities on someone else. But it's not true.
It looks like far-left lunacy.
I don't believe that it's true that religion is moral or ethical.
You don't need to follow anybody!
It's not human intelligence!
If someone doesn't value logical consistency, what logical argument are you going to give them that will demonstrate that they should?
Welcome to the Godless Revolution. Today is Monday, August 7th. This is episode 168. My name is Dan Ellis, one of your co-hosts, along with
Ron Duffy.
I'm here too.
Yeah, he shows up.
Matt Mitchell is in studio with us. Yay! What did you guys do over the week?
I went to a barbecue yesterday and then work. So I just got off work yesterday.
Yeah. Nothing else?
Nothing exciting at work. It was a pretty boring shift.
Moving on, Matt.
I had pretty uneventful, you know?
You suck, Ryan.
Freaking lightning round welcome. Okay.
No, you had more of your tattoo done over the weekend, right?
Well, no, this was last weekend. I had this part done.
Oh.
So
We already talked about it. Next.
yeah, last week. We talked about that last week.
Next.
I got one more appointment this next month.
It's
or this
looking
month.
cool, man.
Yeah, so
Looking a little scaly today.
it is. It's a little peely right now still because I just took the bandage off this part yesterday, so it's still.
Looks cool, though.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you. It's very nice. Matt, what'd you do over the last week?
Worked mostly, and Saturday I took Sunday, the wife and her two sisters to the airport.
Yeah, he told me to get the fuck out
Oh,
of the
yeah,
country.
you said she went out of town. What's she doing?
They're in Venice right now.
Oh, wow. Like
Italy, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
Not Venice Beach or anything no.
Yeah.
Well,
Italy.
that's cool.
And then, I don't know, they go to Pompeii and Rome and all that cool stuff, and then they'll be there for a couple of weeks.
Nice.
So, I'll be alone in the house, so if anyone wants to rob me, definitely not the right time. I have 14 days to do whatever the fuck I want with you.
So, wow, that sounds like you're building a sex dungeon.
Can take some time off work and really enjoy our time shared together.
Yep.
with his full collection of whips and pointy objects.
Let's see. Really, the only big news that
what did you do, Dan?
But really the only major thing I did was Atheists of Utah Pride at, or Ogden Pride, and participating in that. That was a lot of fun. So fucking hot.
A lot of compliments on the beard.
Yeah.
What?
I was just going to ask how the turnout was this year, because I know it's only the third year in a row they've done the Pride in
Are they calling it a churn out now? Is that
a churn out?
Yeah, a turnout. Hey. Don't you tell me what you say.
What you say?
What you say? All T's or CH's now. Don't tell me what you say.
Yeah, turnout was really good. Actually, I think the festival has doubled in size each year.
Nice.
So, like the first year, all of the booths and everything were just in the amphitheater area.
Mm-hmm.
And the next year, they had spilled out onto the grassy area next to the amphitheater. And this year, like everywhere in that square was filled.
Covered.
Yeah, filled with booths. If it keeps growing like it has over the past 3 years, I don't think they're going to be able to stay in the same location.
Well, they do quite often close down 25th Street there for Saturdays for the farmers market. So, I mean, I could see them doing the same thing for that, closing down 25th Street so everybody can set up in the street for stuff.
Yeah, well, and they had the farmers market going at the beginning, like before the Pride Festival started, the farmers market was going on. So parking and unloading and setting up was kind of a pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, I mean, yeah, turnout was great. Whole lot of participants, whole lot of booths. Like I said, it was just really, really hot.
Yeah.
And then the grass was wet and like no cloud cover. So as soon as the sun hit it, it was just
that moisture.
Yeah. It turned every booth into a sauna. It was just fucking hot as balls, man. And we didn't have, there was one guy that I was talking to that I couldn't decide if he was like just being obtuse and kind of a dick for being a dick, for the sake of being a dick, or if he was just strange.
I think you mean obtuse.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a little strange. I couldn't even begin to tell you how the conversation went because it was so far out there. And then
did Mithrin show up?
No. No. And then apparently when I went to go get lunch, they had a guy stop by the booth who wanted to argue with us. And Kevin was the one who was standing up front selling some stuff.
Yeah.
And he had sold a couple things and then was signing somebody up for a new membership for Atheists of Utah. And this guy came over and he's just like, well, atheism is just, it's illogical. It doesn't make logical sense. And Kevin was just like, okay, well, I'm busy right now doing this, you know. And Summer told the guy, hey, because we rented 2 booth spaces, right?
Yeah.
So the one booth space, we sell merchandise and sign people up for memberships, whatever. And then in the second booth space, we do Ask an Atheist, so people can stop by, ask us whatever they want, have conversations. And so that's what Kyle and I were doing most of the day. Then I went to lunch, and this guy apparently came while I was at lunch. And so, you know, he's kind of being a dick to Kevin, and Kevin's just like, look, man, I'm busy right now doing this. And Summer's like, well, these guys over here, if you want to come talk to them, you know, they'll answer any questions you have about atheism or whatever. So you go over there, and he's like, no, I want to talk to him.
He's busy.
He had to talk to Kevin about it, and Kevin just like, dude, fuck off. I'm busy right now doing this. Go somewhere else. I don't have time for your bullshit right now. But yeah, I'm like, damn, I wish I was there. It would have been fun. But that was the only contentious visitor we had at all. There were a couple other people that stopped by and asked questions. There was one guy who sat down with us for like a half an hour and initially started out like he was playing devil's advocate of different religious beliefs. And then finally admitted, he's like, no, you know, I think I'm probably an atheist. I'm ex-Mormon, blah, blah, blah. There was one part in the festival toward closing time, though, that I saw a bit of police brutality.
Oh.
Yeah, it was really strange. So we're sitting there at the booth, and just east of the booth, they had this open grassy area and a community stage where people could get up, you know, do their beat poetry if they wanted, sing, play guitar, whatever. There was a younger guy there who got up a few different times and was doing beatboxing.
Okay.
And he was pretty good. But around midway through the second time, it got a little annoying. And then the third time, it was just like, this guy again, come on, come on. But, so, you know, they had different people taken to the stage doing their thing. They had Salt Lake Cheer come out and they did a whole little show. And then, you know, things were quieting down, things were winding down. People started taking down their booths a little bit. And I look over and I see 2 Ogden Police Department officers on the grass with this, I don't know, woman who's probably young or early 30s. And she's sitting on the grass. She's got her shoes in one hand and her purse in the other. And then I hear one of the officers, like, say something very loudly to her, like, issue a command or something. And
Stop resisting.
And she throws down her shoes and her purse. And she's sitting down the whole time. So throws down her shoes and purse. And then I hear her start screaming and she's waving her arms. And they're far enough away that I can't tell exactly what they're saying. But she's very animated. And the officers get closer to her. And I was like, oh, something's going down over here. And I kind of elbowed Kevin.
That's never good.
And we're just kind of watching. And then a couple of people came over, wanted to buy some stuff. And so I'm just kind of watching what's going on out of the corner of my eye. Sell, you know, bumper stickers or whatever to the people that were there. They leave. And then I turned to look again and the woman stood up and turned and started running. And there was like a 10, 15 foot space between our booth and the next booth next to us, to the south. And they were selling fetish underwear. That was really cool. They had to explain some of the fetish underwear styles to a couple elderly women who wandered into their booth. I hear that was pretty comical. But and then past their booth there was a little bit of a gap. So I see this woman start running, and she runs from the east side of the park around the fetish underwear booth. And there were 2 Ogden police officers, one male, one female. And they both start chasing her, and the guy closes the gap like double time. And this woman's running away, no shoes on. I mean, she's, I wouldn't really call it running. She's galloping a little bit, I guess, maybe. And he closes the gap double time on her, and then does a flying tackle.
Yeah, it doesn't you could just bump her and knock her over, but he doesn't do that.
Yeah, or just grab her. I mean, she's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
But he does a flying tackle on this woman.
Yep.
Like, raises her up off the ground, and they both travel a good, 2 or 3 yards in the air, and he lands on top of her, and she smacks her head on the ground. And
he waits for that. He's just waiting for the day he gets to practice his NFL hits.
Well, and as soon as it happened, like, you could just hear everybody, like an audible gasp from everybody who was kind of watching, and then murmurs of, "Hey, that's unnecessary. What the hell's going on? Why did you do that? What's going on over there?"
And then what? Shut up, everyone. Stop. Don't worry about it.
No, they didn't say anything, but she started screaming her head off. Just,
Help
me! Somebody help! Oh my God, you're breaking my arms!
Yeah.
Help me! And of course, he flips her over onto her stomach, and he's wrestling her arms back behind her, gets her cuffed, and then lifts her up, and they march out, and that was the end of it. I don't have any idea what she did, or
so why wouldn't they have just cuffed her while she was sitting there?
Yeah.
Why do they egg people on and almost hope for something like that to happen?
And I mean, they obviously, I mean, they were within touching distance of her. They were within 2 or 3 feet of her when she was on the ground.
Maybe they weren't planning on arresting her.
So, I mean,
I don't know.
So she stands up and she turns and then she starts running away, and they both just kind of look at each other.
Which is a crime, of course.
And then the guy
can't run in public.
Yeah. Then the guy gives chase and flying tackles her. And I was like, what the fuck, man? I wish I would have had the thought in my mind to record it, but yeah, I was like,
would have been on World Star.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think you really needed to tackle her. I don't think she's much of a threat, and she wasn't going to get away.
And she was leaving. She wasn't actively threatening. She was retreating, fleeing.
Yeah. It was
until that kind of thing is illegal, they're going to keep doing it. It's just never going to stop.
Yeah.
Until it's actually illegal.
Just seemed a little unnecessary.
Yeah.
More than a little unnecessary. It seemed wholly unnecessary. Like, he could have just grabbed her and handcuffed her, but.
Yeah, if you have all that training, physical training is part of your job, you have all that gear, and you can't subdue an obviously disturbed 30-something-year-old woman with no shoes on, what the fuck are you doing with your life, dude?
Well, at least he didn't shoot her.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. But those two are the same problem, because what we have is police who can't help but act violently. Like he wasn't trying to diffuse it necessarily, and I don't know what was happening when she was on the ground. But I'm saying at that point, all he wanted to do was make an NFL tackle on her.
Well, and clearly, either he wasn't trying to de-escalate things, or if he did try to de-escalate things, it went horribly wrong because she got up and ran instead of sitting there and talking to them.
Yeah, but there's still a far better way of
that's
subduing her.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, it doesn't really matter what the situation is. That's not the answer.
Yeah.
So
it was unacceptable, I think. Of course, I don't know what she said, what she did, what
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
none of that matters.
Yeah, none of that justifies him throwing a flying tackle at this woman.
Yeah, the only reason why it's okay, in quotations, is because it's not technically illegal.
Yeah.
So as long as they can do it, they will, or at least some will.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seemed weird. And it seemed, I don't know, the female officer who was there had stopped by our booth earlier and was looking at our car emblems and stuff, the flying spaghetti monster and Darwin fish and stuff like that. She's like, oh, these are really cool. And I thought, oh, awesome. There's a at least open-minded female officer in OPD, if not atheist. And then she came by the booth later with another lady, and we were chatting. The other woman that she came back with, I think, must have been her mother.
Okay.
Just the way they were talking to each other, and then that older woman and I started talking because she said, "Oh, well, I'm a federal employee. Can you imagine if," she's talking to the officer. She's like, "Can you imagine if I were to take some of this stuff and put them on my desk at work?"
You're like, I'm a federal employee, and I put it on my desk at work.
I'm like, oh yeah, what do you do? And she's like, oh, well, I'm a federal employee. And I'm like, me too. And I said, do you work here in Ogden? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, me too. And I said, you work for the IRS? And she said, yeah. And I said, well, me too.
Let's just do that for the rest of the show.
Me too.
Me too.
But yeah, it was fun. Like I said, it was really hot, but it was nice seeing a bunch of people. Like I said, Sarah stopped by the booth a few times and had a little chit chat with her here and there. She's the one who actually encouraged me or told me that they were doing glitter beards, or
she had sent me
that they were doing glitter.
She had sent me a photo like, I found Dan. Then later on, she's like, Dan really needs to put glitter in his beard. I'm like, well, you tell Dan. I told him to put glitter in his fucking beard.
So I did. I wandered over and got glitter in my beard, and then that shit was fucking everywhere because they sprayed my beard first with hairspray.
Okay.
And then put the glitter on so it would stick, and then put more hairspray on after that
to seal it.
But it was, anytime I moved my head anywhere, it was just a shower of fucking glitter everywhere. All over every chair in the booth, all over the tables.
Your car.
Oh yeah, it's all over the fucking truck, everywhere. Yeah. Everyone was glitter bombed. A couple of my friends that I hadn't seen for a while, well, actually I had several different friends stop by the booth, that I hadn't seen for quite a while. In particular, though, it was after I went and got glitter in the beard, and my friends, Holly and Justin, stopped by the booth, and Holly standing there, she's like, oh, come here, let me give you a hug. And I'm like, I don't know if that's a great idea, because you're going to get glitter everywhere. And she's like, oh, no, that's fine. So I gave her a hug, and she backed up, and dude, it looked like she had been in a glitter war of some kind, like all down the side of her face, all over her shirt. I'm like, sorry. And then Justin's like, oh, I guess I'll give you a hug too. I'm like, okay, buddy, you're going to probably not like the results. And yeah, both of them were just covered in glitter.
It's like a unicorn jizzed on them.
Yeah. But it was fun. It was a good time. I think everybody that went had a decent time, other than it just being so oppressively hot.
Yeah.
And the whole loading of the shit from my house into the truck, and then driving to Ogden, unloading, setting everything up, and then doing that for, we were there from little after 9 until 9, so 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then taking it all down, packing it into the truck, driving all the way home, and then unloading the truck. And yeah, it was a long day. I was beat. I slept very well that night.
Hey, all you dirty cis people out there who think you run the world. This is the trans podcaster, Marissa Alexa McCool, coming to say that you should go sit in the corner and listen to other people talk. And the people you should listen to are the Godless Revolution folks, because they're the good kind of cis people. We don't have to shame them just as much. So you go ahead and listen to them, and then you come listen to us so we can tell them why they need to apologize.
Please stand by. The Godless Revolution will continue in a moment.
Here follows a public service announcement for the Two Skeptical Chaps podcast. Greetings, Americans. Over here in London, we are well aware that not all of you are loud, xenophobic, racist, sexist, religious nuts.
But many of your politicians who display these frightful traits seem to be quite popular.
Particularly a certain wall-obsessed, small-handed, best-word-using, daughter-perving, war-inciting, candy-floss-headed clown.
To those of you who choose to follow such balderdash, we strongly recommend not to listen to the Two Skeptical Chaps.
It probably won't be your cup of tea.
Otherwise, give us a listen.
Each episode, we cover any news or current affairs from across the globe.
Things that annoy or delight us.
That's 2 as in the number 2.
And skeptical with a K.
The wrong way to spell it. Cheerio.
Talking to people of my faith, Islam, and my friends, and discussing with them, I remember all kinds of fallacious arguments, but I remember one consistent thing, and that was to exempt Islam from any criticism. It was culture. It wasn't Islam. But a religion is born in a culture. And if that culture is not peaceful, then that religion is not peaceful. I was told it's politics. We've heard it tonight many times. It's not the religion. But Islam not only has a pious dimension, but it also has a political dimension, a complex system of laws, a political philosophy on how society should be organized. And if you look at that political system, it's anything but peaceful. What emancipated me from the order to submit my will completely to Allah, which in practice means the concentration of power in the hands of a few, was to learn to think critically, the Enlightenment.
You and the Godless Revolution will be reassimilated in 3, 2, 1.
You said you had a correction?
Yes, yeah, I do.
Okay.
The two Skeptical Chaps come up again. Dan Morris, Dr. Dan, on episode 59, told the Dumb All Over podcast, a couple of nice guys with a young podcast, told them that we were the Godless Revolution and not the Godless Revolution because we can't spell.
Oh, my word.
Well,
this from the guy who can't decide how they're going to spell their show.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
Well, Dr. Skeptical with a K. Maybe portmanteaus weren't at your school, but I'll give you a class in condescension. It's a combination of two other words to achieve a descriptive compound word. And in terms of marketing, it's a pretty good idea because it's very unlikely that other groups would invent the same brand name. So, yeah, dumb Americans is an old stereotype. So I'll see your mudslinging and raise you one posh British insult. You there! Fuck off!
I say good day, sir. What else you got for us?
Oh, you want to do some other stuff?
Yeah.
Sure.
We do stuff on this show.
Oh, let's do that one later.
All the shuffling of the papers.
Yep, that's what you get.
You were on the computer a lot this week, though.
I know. I was on it more than usual.
Yeah, I think just in the last week, you were on the computer as much as you have been in the previous 6 months.
That's
fair, you even knew to give us a warning saying, hey, it was me that logged into the email account.
Well, yeah, because last time Dan changed it in no time at all.
Because we were both sitting here doing the show. It's like, fuck. Right. We're both sitting here.
Yeah.
Someone logged into the email. Matt doesn't computer. Change that password. Someone's hacking our shit. And it turned out it was you.
A fake news blog created by German university researchers found an eager and credulous audience among tiny-minded far-right sympathizers who shared racially charged stories.
Weird.
The experiment at Hohenheim University, by Hohenheim University researchers set up 4 fake profiles on Facebook. One false story claimed that asylum seekers were having free sex with prostitutes funded by a local council. What? The story reached 11,000 people within 4 days and was shared more than 150 times. Okay. Let's take a second and let the amount of gullible soak in here. 11,000 conservatives in 4 days thought the government was paying for non-citizens to have sex.
And those are only the ones who shared it, right?
Yeah.
So that's 11,000 who shared it.
Right.
There's probably 10 times that amount that read it and also believed it, but didn't share it.
It reached 11,000 people.
Oh, okay.
Well, it fits perfectly into their preconceived notions of everything.
Yeah, and they believed that. They bought it hook or line and sinker. I told you guys it was going to be puns all night. Many readers reacted indignantly to the news that about free prostitutes for asylum seekers. Few Facebook users.
Where's my free poker?
Yeah, my free poker.
My free poker. I was going to say prostitute and decided at the last minute I'd say hooker.
And few Facebook users even spotted that the place where it was allegedly happening, Bad Ulen, is not even exist.
I'm going to share it anyway.
I mean, of course, conservatives aren't exactly leaders in geography.
It's just because they're trying to hide where it's actually happening.
So apparently, and don't quote me on this, but it's possible that the Neanderthals on the far right are maybe not humanity's best fact checkers. The fake news blog now has prominent warnings in red above its stories signaling fake news. The researchers, the researchers called it some really long German name, Der Volksbeobachter or whatever, an echo to the Nazi propaganda, which had a very similar name. that I also can't pronounce, and included eagle's wings logo, also reminiscent of the Nazis.
Yeah.
Media manipulation is a major concern in Germany as the country faces a general election on September 24th, with politicians warning that Russia might use fake news to influence the vote. Seems kind of out of the blue, hitting Russia like that. Never been involved in election meddling accusations before.
Yeah, I mean, they're so innocent of all that kind of thing.
2 weeks after one of the fake news Facebook profiles was launched, it had attracted 251 Facebook friends, which is only slightly better than the 2 Zodiac Chaps. Among the fake news stories propagated by the site in April were refugee nicks a German's job, name disapproval, Greens want to close Moore's Head Cafe, Mark Zuckerberg says sorry to a refugee. The last story claimed that Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook CEO, had apologized to a Syrian refugee who had been falsely accused of rape and had been trolled on Facebook. It was striking that...
And then he personally apologized to them?
Well, these are the stories that... These are the
Sorry,
fake
my
stories.
platform was used for this, yeah.
No, probably because Zuckerberg was actually trolling the shit out of them.
It was striking that our Facebook profile was never questioned. Not by Facebook, that is. The institution itself, nor by other users, said Professor Wolfgang Schweiger, who led the research team. The U.S. Facebook's concerned. The U.S. social media giant has an estimated 29 million users in Germany, and in April it published full-page notices in German newspapers advising readers how to spot fake news. Too bad they can't make a coloring book for our president to learn this stuff. The Facebook tips for Germans include: check what other reports say. Check the evidence for this. Look for the author's sources. But Facebook has criticized a new German law passed this month, which imposes fines of up to 50 million euro.
Jesus.
For social networks that fail to delete illegal hate speech or fake news.
That's a lot.
Compare that to the U.S. fines of 3 million for desecration of humanity's first writings by Slobby Hobby. Yeah. Germany's data protection commissioner has echoed Facebook's concerns. The commissioner said the new law was vague in some respects, including regarding the powers given an independent panel that will rule on fake news or alleged hate speech.
Bunch of bullshit, man.
An interesting study, however.
Yeah. Did you guys... Well, we talked about it a little bit before the show. The story from Malaysia about the atheist group who got together through the Atheist Republic Facebook.
What happened in that story, Dan?
Yeah, I actually hadn't heard about this until you started talking about it earlier.
So the Atheist Republic is one of the largest atheist pages on Facebook. I don't know if it's a page or a group.
I think it's a group because anybody can post in it, I think.
Yeah, probably. And it's a online Facebook group, it says here. But they're one of the largest, like I said, atheist groups on Facebook, and were recently taken down from Facebook for a little while. And there was a whole controversy around that, and people claiming that they got zucked because they were speaking out against religion, all that kind of stuff. But recently, in Malaysia, they held a gathering for people who are members of the Atheist Republic on Facebook and live in Malaysia and wanted to get together with other atheists. And so they have this gathering. Atheists get together, they're having a good time, have good conversations, meet like-minded people. I mean, for anybody who is new to atheism, and then to find like-minded people and just be able to talk openly about your non-belief is a very liberating feeling, right? And so they're all very happy, flying high, take a picture of the group and post it to social media, and the Malaysian government steps in and says, well, maybe we should start investigating these people, basically for blasphemy and specifically ex-Muslims, because in Malaysia it is illegal to leave the religion of Islam and become an atheist. Punishable by death, of course.
Yeah.
So, this comes to us from Hemant Mehta, and he says that the Metro Manila consulate, for example, even raised money for disaster victims in the Philippines. But last week, the consulate of Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia got together for dinner and drinks. They took a picture to celebrate the occasion. Taking that picture may have been a mistake. Malaysia is one of the supposedly more moderate Muslim countries.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah?
I've seen some shit come out of that country.
Well, here's
it's like, that's moderate?
The thing is, we're still talking about Islam.
Yeah.
You know, so moderate Islam, especially in the forms it takes today, is still pretty extreme.
Yeah, I mean, well, because they got the like Islamic police force, or
right.
Like they're not cops, but their whole job is to go around
the morality police,
pretty much enforcing it to the point where I was watching a video where if they think someone is having premarital sex with some other woman that they saw out, they'll go break the door in and fucking break them apart and say, no, you can't be having sex.
Yeah, Hemet says that Malaysia ostensibly has freedom of religion, but the rules don't apply to Muslims who want to leave the faith. There are rules to prohibit, or at least make it very difficult to go through such a deconversion. So back to the picture, the Malaysian government caught wind of the photo and began wondering if there were any secret Muslims in there. Secret Muslims in an atheist group. Because they had to be punished if they were Muslims. But what if participating in atheist activities?
Right. What if they were an insider, though? They're working for the Muslim Brotherhood to try to weed out other bad Muslims that were going to it.
They're super secret double agents, like Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan's a secret Muslim.
I've been hiding for years.
For years behind my porn stash. The government will investigate if there are Muslims who have joined the Kuala Lumpur Atheist Club, as made viral on the social media recently, said Deputy Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Dr. Asif Wajdi Dusuki.
I think that was perfect.
Thank you. According to Asif Wajidi, jurisdiction on Islamic faith is under the Syrian criminal enactment of each state, Sharia criminal enactment of each state. Well, at the Federal Territories level, it is under the Federal Territories Islamic Religion Department, JAWI. If it is proven that there are Muslims involved in atheist activities that could affect their faith, the State Islamic Religious Departments, or JAWI, could take action. I have asked for JAWI to look into this grave allegation.
It's hard to take it seriously.
And all of this because a handful of atheists wanted to hang out together.
Yeah. And people wonder why we fight for the separation of church and state.
Right. Well, it doesn't, and it doesn't stop there either.
Yeah.
He goes on and, he says that the news coverage led to a lot of Malaysians calling for imprisonment or death of apostates over social media. Ali A. Rizvi posted a number of them, and some of these are pretty fucking terrible. From Imager, we have, where are the religious authorities? Catch these people desecrating the sanctity of Islam invites God's wrath, and mislead other Muslims from Islam. Don't wait until Allah brings in a tornado before we act. Go to hell. The religious authorities should catch these liberals, like list of progressive personalities. These people have gone too far. When leadership is weak and they can't defend Islam, democracy is now irrelevant. If it's true that these apostates came to the congregation, why hasn't the religious authorities gone and arrested and charged these people? We have laws against apostates in Malaysia for Muslims. This is from the Religion of Peace, of course, where you have to be a Muslim or we'll fucking kill you.
Yep.
Their leader is an Iranian. He should be arrested and beheaded, the accursed man. Wow. Sounds pretty peaceful.
I wonder, is that because Iran is Shia? Is Malaysia mostly Sunni?
I don't know. To be honest. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know which is which.
I think Iran is Shia mostly. Because Iraq is Sunni, right? And they have
Iraq has all three there.
Now, yeah.
Well, it has had all three.
Well, it has had them, yeah, but under Saddam, Saddam is a Sunni for sure.
Yeah, that's why he was killing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And that's why there was tension between Iraq and Iran. Because they're Shia, and he was... I'm just wondering what the Iranian tie is. That's what...
I would imagine that's exactly what you're thinking. According to Islamic law, as agreed by Islamic scholars, apostates should be punished with a beheading. The apostate should be given a few days to repent to escape his punishment. If this law is enacted, would there be anyone who would dare to leave Islam? Choose Islam. Well, so we're gonna make you a member and then make sure that you don't leave through threat of killing you for leaving.
Not just threat. They do it.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of when people say, we're going to kick your ass if you don't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah.
This is America. We got freedoms, and if you don't do it, I'm going to kick your ass, motherfucker.
Yeah, you're free to think like me, or else.
If I'm not mistaken, according to the prophets of old, the punishment for apostasy is death. After 3 days from leaving Islam, and the apostate refuses to repent, then his blood is halal for slaughter. It is better to die from hanging for murder than to die as an apostate. The punishment for apostasy is death. What actions are our mufti taking against this?
What's a mufti?
The Islamic police.
Oh, okay.
This is why Islam commands that apostates who refuse to repent should be killed. These people are poison. If your religion can't stand up to people not believing in it, what the fuck? Why would you choose to follow that religion? If it can't convince somebody that it's good just because it's a good and logical and correct way to think and do things, why the fuck would you think it's then okay to kill somebody who doesn't do that?
I'm gonna say something surprising here.
Okay.
Because it's not true.
Oh.
And
they're terrified that other people will find out and leave?
Mm-hmm. That's why they have to have Little Miss Mufti, because to keep everyone in there.
Little Miss Mufti, who sat under Tufti.
Eating her halal and whatever else. Lamb. What do they eat? Goats, something?
Halal and falafel?
Yeah,
there we go.
The government should put a stop to their activities. Do not worship only your own intelligence. They haven't received God's wrath. That is why they're happy. Once they've gotten this... That's why they're happy, of course.
Because there is no God's wrath.
Yeah, because they aren't doing all this fucking horrible religious shit that I have to do every day.
Once they've gotten his wrath, they will know their place. Looks like propaganda from the Freemasons is reaching success in slowly weakening and toppling the Islamic Ummah in Malaysia. What? May these Antichrist and Lucifer worshippers be prevented from reaching their new world order.
That's a Christian.
Wait, yeah, because Freemasons are Christian, though.
I said that's a Christian. That guy's a Christian.
But when he's saying that they're more like Freemasons, he's saying the Freemasons are getting to him.
Yeah, and he's also calling them antichrists and referencing Lucifer and the New World Order. That's all Christian stuff.
I thought this one was particularly worrying. It's because we're a democracy and not an Islamic state. Can you see the games the Dajjal, Antichrist, play? In the end of times, fitna will be prevalent. Atheists would be untouchable by the authorities. Try to refrain from talking about killing these apostates just in case any of them go to the police. Not try to refrain from killing them because that's a bad fucking thing to do.
Don't talk about it.
But don't talk about it because they may go to the authorities and then you might get in trouble for wanting to kill these people. That would be the bad part, that you would get in trouble for wanting to kill them.
Well, over there, the authorities probably will kill them anyways.
Yeah, well, yeah, the Malaysian government is investigating this.
I still don't understand. I mean, all these people are clearly up to their eyeballs in the God stuff. And yet none of them can see that he's not doing a goddamn thing.
Yeah, why doesn't their God handle this?
You guys are all over this, acting like his bulldogs, and yet he's doing fucking nothing.
Whoever apostatizes should be killed. These kind of people should not be spared. There is only one way. Advise them and tell them that Islam is not to be played with. If they refuse to repent, we burn them alive. An apostate's blood is halal for slaughter. Apostates should be killed. Abu Bakr, Muhammad's companion, waged war against these apostates.
Those very same ones?
Yeah, probably. I'm sure. They should be killed. In the days of Umar, Muhammad's companion, they would have been put to death.
Yeah, that was 1,400 years ago.
They don't deserve to be Malaysian citizens. They're not real Americans.
Yep.
They fail the first national principle that is belief in God. This is a Christian nation.
Yep.
So catch them all and throw them out of the country. Go back to your own fucking country.
If you don't like it,
get
out.
Like it, you can get out.
Yeah.
Also, please reveal their faces so that we know if they died, we don't have to bury them the Islamic way.
Here's this loser. I'm going to dox him so y'all know what he looks like.
So, yeah, Just a whole bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
From the religion of peace, talking about beheading people who leave their religion.
That's religion as a whole.
Well, and as I was reading this earlier today, I thought, well, I guess it's a good thing I was never a Muslim, because I can be an atheist and at least most Christians won't say that I need to be beheaded, and that's part of their religious practice, is that if I leave, they have to fucking kill me.
Right.
They'll still say it though.
Sometimes
they'll say that atheists, shouldn't be around, or all that, but it's not as much a part of their doctrine as it is for Islam.
Yeah. But he ends the article by saying, all of this just shows you how difficult it is to be an open atheist in a supposedly free nation that's still dominated by Islamic beliefs, even if it's not a Muslim theocracy. Because again, Malaysia is supposed to be one of the more moderate Islamic countries.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've posted a couple things about Islam in the past, and I have a certain, air quotes, humanist friend who whenever I do, regardless of what I say about it, they think that I'm picking on Islam and Muslims and that I'm being an Islamophobe. And I'm like, did you not read the fucking article, man? Like, this is what is going on. You can pretend all you want that the not all Muslims hashtag applies here, but clearly we have the government of a country, of a supposed moderate Islamic country, stepping in and wants to investigate these people and possibly murder them for the simple act of not believing in the fucking religion.
Yeah. And here's the thing, to a person like that. How many Muslims are in the world? 2 billion?
A whole lot.
Something like that, right?
Yeah.
And even a person like that will agree that the majority of them are not these kinds of extremists.
Right.
Right? Okay. All right. Good. So Islam has plenty of fucking apologists. Stop it. They've got billions of them. They don't need you and your fucking privileged attitude. That Islam is fucking dangerous, and we need to not pretend that it isn't.
Yeah. Well, and it is particularly insidious. I mean, it is more dangerous than, I mean, can you think of a more dangerous religion?
Not right now.
I mean, any other religion that, I mean, apart from the only one that even comes close that I can think of is maybe Scientology, but they,
in a very different way.
Yeah. You know, maybe
they ruin lives.
Maybe tiny little cults, but not a gigantic religion with billions of adherents.
Yeah.
And certainly not all of their adherents are like this, but a large fucking, an alarmingly large number of them are like that.
Well, I think also in Malaysia, where you do have the religious police, the people that are coming out and saying this shit, feel free to say it, because they're going to be backed up by everyone else in that country. It's the mob mentality of the religion in that country.
Yeah, they have the support of their government.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of Christians here would like to have a Christian fascist state.
And that's why I think if it was backed by the government, you would see Christians doing the same exact shit.
Yeah.
I think you would absolutely.
Guaranteed.
Because you have a lot of them saying that without government sponsorship of it.
Yeah.
But,
then you get the government sponsor, you get to where it's like, well, no, now it's okay for me to say. I may have been thinking this the whole time, but now it's okay. Now I'm free to say this, and I'm in the right.
I'm not going to get in trouble from the government for saying that I'm going to fucking shoot you in your goddamned head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, I'm Lloyd Evans. I'm a former Jehovah's Witness. I'm the author of The Reluctant Apostate and senior editor of jwsurvey.org, and you are listening to The Godless Revolution.
The next rant will start right after this.
Hey everybody, this is X.
And I'm Kyle.
And I'm Felicia. We're the Utah Outcasts.
3 out, unashamed, and active atheists living in Utah.
And we are personally inviting you to let us love your ears each and every week.
As we take the news, current events, and pop culture and give it a little twist.
A love twist, with consent.
And we'll be joined each week by a special guest to tell us what makes them an outcast like us.
Come find us.
The Utah Outcasts.
On podhell.com, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play,
Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
And on UtahOutcast.com.
We finally bought that domain off the kids handing out mixtapes in the mall.
Come be an outcast with us.
Take care of yourselves out there.
Bonne nuit.
And you're welcome.
Thanks for listening. Now back to the show.
I got some crazy if you want to do it right away.
You got crazy?
I got a little crazy.
Is it your crazy Christian friend?
No, that guy's just been posting fucking religious shit all the like he just went on a tirade of posting fucking religious quotes.
Oh yeah.
And one night I was a little drunk.
Yeah. So
I just started doing the laughing hashtag on all of them, or the laughy face on all of them
for the laugh react.
Yeah, the laugh react thing. I just started laughing at everything he was you stupid Christian. No, this is about stupid Mormons.
Oh, okay.
Macy's is going to be open on Sundays.
Okay, that's a local grocery store.
It is a local grocery store, but they're going to be open on Sunday now.
This is the grocery store. I thought Macy's was the department store.
There is a Macy's department store. It's in the malls with like the Macy's and Dillard's.
But this is for
the grocery store? The grocery store.
Maceys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and they've been kind of like like the TBM grocery store of choice for a while.
But apparently Whole Foods bought the grocery store chain.
Oh yeah,
did.
Yeah, that's why this change is happening. It's like, no, we'll be open on Sundays now for certain stores, different areas. Now that Whole Foods, so I'm guessing it's the one that Whole Foods is already taking over.
Yeah.
That are opening and staying open Sunday. It's still gonna have the same name. It's not gonna be called Whole Foods, but Whole Foods bought.
It'll be Macy's, but ran under Whole Foods.
Yeah,
a subsidiary of Whole Foods.
So
everything's going to be the same, but the prices are going to double?
Probably. And people will be outraged in the state of Utah. So I had to go and grab some people's comments they left on this thing.
About
Macy's being open on Sunday.
All right, let's hear it. What are they complaining about?
Unless you understand the teachings of the LDS religion regarding this subject, not many of you will understand why this is a big deal and very disappointing.
I think that I would love to ask that person exactly what they found in those books that makes it so important.
Yeah, there's only one guy that...
Other than God said.
Yeah, there's only one guy that points out why it shouldn't be open on Sunday, but then he's completely wrong. I don't shop at Macy's, but I think it is sad that they feel they need to start opening on Sundays.
Why is it any of your fucking business?
Yeah. This makes me sad and upset that people are starting to turn away from worshiping God on the Sabbath day and turning away from God. I'm sure that there are a lot of employees who will quit because they do not want to work on Sundays. And a lot of employees who work at Macy's probably work there since they do not have to work on Sundays. So I have a feeling that a lot of them will quit and find a new job where they do not have to work on Sundays.
That was a whole lot of work on Sundays.
It was. He is pissed off about it. He looks, I mean, the picture, it's just a screenshot. He kind of looks like a bowling ball with some chicken legs on it. So.
Does he hanker for a hunk of cheese?
I think he's
God damn it, you forgot to remind me to ask you about Wisconsin.
Well, after, I just got a couple more of these.
I'm going to write it down.
Then you can ask me about Wisconsin. No reason to go to Macy's anymore. Stuff was always cheaper at Walmart anyway.
Oh, jeez.
Being that these stores...
Walmart's open on Sunday!
Everywhere!
Being the one store that I respected for following the Lord's Day, 90% of what Macy's was doing for it. That was what Macy's had going for it.
Wait, 90% of what the whole grocery store had going for it was that it was closed on Sundays?
Yes.
The best part about this store is that I can't shop there.
Yeah. What the fuck? 90% of the things I like about this is that when I'm off work, they're closed. What a fucking moron.
No one honors the Sabbath or the holy day anymore, or that everyone needs a day off of rest.
All the Jews in the audience are just shaking their heads.
Just shows you how greed and money rule the world.
Some yarmulkes went flying.
Oh, very sad.
Oh man, they are taking tips from Trump tweets for that.
Yeah.
What did you say in there?
I was just imagining yarmulkes flying because they're shaking their heads so.
I mean, it's the people that are always saying they're like, well, you need a day of rest. I'm like, motherfucker. Some people are off like Tuesdays and Wednesdays. People still work a normal 9 to 5 days a week. Not everybody has the same, like, Saturday, Sunday off. No.
Fuck everybody who has to work on Sunday.
Yeah. I always honored Macy's for keeping the Sabbath day holy. And it's not just a Mormon thing. Moses gave them the 10 Commandments, and this has been a commandment since the beginning of time.
Except for it's a Saturday.
Yeah.
When you go back that far, you fucking income poop.
And that's what, so, and that, like, that guy had a whole shitload of people coming at him on that one. And that's what they kept pointing out, like, no, it's the Sabbath day was not fucking Sunday. It's a Jewish holiday. It's a Jewish thing. And it was from, sundown on Friday till sundown on Saturday. Yeah. That was the fucking holy time.
Mm-hmm.
Not Sunday. You're making that shit up, and the calendar starts on Sunday. That's day one.
Yeah, right. That's day one, yeah.
Saturday's the end of the calendar. So yeah, it's just funny how people are so fucking upset. They're not going to shop there anymore because they're open on Sundays.
Fine. Don't fucking shop there.
Yeah. It's like, you don't have to.
Everybody else who is happy that it's open on Sunday will be happy that you're not fucking there.
But the thing that bugs me about it is that it's not the fact that they're going to be open on Sunday as much as it is the fact that they're changing.
Yeah.
Because even then the guy admitted that Walmart's better. Well, so then you go to, and they're open on Sunday. Every single location is open every single Sunday, and you don't have a problem with that. You only had a problem with the fact that Macy changed.
Yeah. It's like your gas stations.
Who cares?
You go to a gas station. Guess what?
Yeah.
They're open 7 days a week. Some are open like 24 hours. They never give those workers times off. Those workers are there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Same person.
Yeah. and the funny thing is too, like most Mormons only follow that rule when it's convenient. Obviously. I mean, this is like any Christian, but when you get Mormons on a vacation or something, they don't care what fucking day it is.
No.
They don't care. They don't care about any of that. It's only when it's easy. And then they can be holier than thou.
And how often have you been anywhere on a Sunday and you see all the fucking Mormons leaving church and going to the fucking
I see them shopping in their suit and tie all the time.
Every fucking Sunday.
And I judge the hell out of them every time I see that. Like, you motherfucker, get out. This is supposed to be my day.
That's what
I don't want to fight you for this stuff.
I loved one guy who pointed out, he goes, go down to Salt Lake City on conference weekend and go to the restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See how many Mormons are out there at the
you don't fucking go shopping and go to restaurants on Sundays. You're filled with you guys during fucking conference weekend every fucking Sunday.
Yep. So this is all just it's just
people
saving face bullshit that they're doing.
Over nothing.
No, they get to go on there and everyone else can, and they say, oh, everyone's going to see how good of a Mormon I am by defending this publicly, even though they don't do any of it.
And I think I even commented on there, I get off work on Sunday. It would be nice for me to have more of a selection of places to go fucking grocery shopping on Sunday and not to worry about every place in the state being closed when I get off work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sundays are my favorite day to wear atheist gear around anywhere.
I would wear like a Satanic Temple t-shirt, and there's a church, so I was blaring Metallica on the way home with all my windows open as I was passing by the Mormon church next to my house. I'm like, fuck yeah. Hell's bells.
I love going to restaurants, grocery shopping.
No, it was one of those bells. It was something from a...
Hell's Bells is AC/DC.
It is.
Yeah, but whatever.
Or it could have been that. It was from that Metallica album where they were doing the with the orchestra.
Oh,
I can't remember the name of the song though. It starts off with the bells. For when the bell tolls.
For whom the bell tolls.
For whom the bell tolls. That's the one.
for when the bell tolls.
Yeah.
No one knows.
No, they didn't tell me.
It's like almost like a Yoda, like saying it backwards, or like almost like a Jewish thing. For when the bell tolls.
I'm a natural Yoda. All right. So let's what's the Wisconsin thing?
Oh, so
all right.
So toward the end of the Pride Festival, I'm standing in the booth, and it smelled like stinky fucking cheese.
Okay.
Like the whole area at the amphitheater just smelled like stinky cheese. And I turned to Jesse and I'm like, dude, it smells like cheese. And he stops for a minute and he takes a smell and he's like, yeah, dude, it smells like Wisconsin. And I giggled a little bit and he's like, no, it smells like the Wisconsin airport.
Well, that he might not be far off because there's like cheese curds and cheese everywhere in the airport.
Is there?
Oh yeah. Like, cause when I go back home, people always ask me, bring back some fresh squeaky cheese curds. And in order for squeaky cheese curds to really be fresh, I mean, they can't be like a week old. Like, you can't just go there and go get them, then come back. It's like, well, I mean,
so you get them at the airport?
So they sell all that shit at the airport.
Oh, that's awesome. I thought he was kidding.
So no, I mean,
that's why I was like, I have to ask you about Wisconsin. That's awesome. All right. So,
but as far as the state smelling like cheese, no, it smells, I mean, it's like the outdoors. Like, like camping sometimes. Like,
Yeah,
well, there's the green.
It's one of the fresher smelling states
like
around.
yeah, see all the pine trees and all the trees around, so it has that nice tree smell.
So he was double correct in stopping and saying no, the Wisconsin airport. It smells like the Wisconsin airport.
Yeah, I would say he's probably not incorrect at all. I mean, I haven't been through the Milwaukee airport in a long time, but
yeah. Well, you usually drive out there, don't you?
I usually drive if it's a winter time. The last time I flew home in the winter, I flew closer to where my parents are at, so they have to drive as far in the winter to get me.
Well, that's awesome. I wasn't sure if that was a real thing or not, but we have a real Wisconsinite here.
Yeah, I mean,
to let us know that yes, indeed.
There's
the
plenty
airport
of cheese.
Smells like fucking cheese.
Well, then every restaurant you go to, there's going to be cheese on everything on the menu, whether it's fried cheese curds or just cheese curds.
Because you're known for that, right?
Yeah,
like
people want cheese.
Yeah,
and especially when it's fresh Wisconsin squeaky cheese curds.
Well, what else have you got, Matt?
I got a quick little two-parter. They kind of dovetail.
Okay.
Of all the strange things in a very unusual conversation between Toronto Dump and Malcolm Turnbull, the internet has crowned just one to be the day's meme in chief.
Oh, yeah.
A newly published transcript of the phone call between President Troll and the Australian Prime Minister shows the pair discussing a deal made under the Obama administration to resettle to the U.S. more than 1,000 refugees currently held in Australia's offshore detention center. It's a deal that Trump is not happy with, and he made it clear during what was an awkward and combative phone conversation back in January.
This is a good one.
Trump said the refugees, who are mostly from Iran, Sudan, Afghanistan, and Pakistan, would go on to be the next Boston bombers.
Oh, jeez.
Which Turnbull pointed out was unlikely since the Boston bombers came from Russia.
Well, and they were born in the U.S., weren't they? But they had family from Russia? Because they were citizens of the U.S.
Yeah, I think they were from one of the former Soviet Union countries, like Chechnya or something like that, weren't they?
I thought they were like the parents were.
Maybe.
But they were born here? I can't remember.
But I thought they were naturalized citizens.
Anyway, it's nowhere near it's none of the countries that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And as
the
usual,
Tsarnaev brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
As usual, facts don't matter to America's new dictator, and Trump is Stalin the deal. Get it? Get it? Stalin. I hate taking these people. These people?
Yep.
I guarantee you I guarantee you they are bad, he said.
Guarantee you.
Do you want to know how he knows that?
How many things is Trump guaranteed?
He guaranteed his steak.
His steaks, his vodka, his casinos. Sure.
But do you know how he knows they're bad?
No, how?
Because they're in prison right now.
What? Does he think that they're sending prisoners over to the U.S.?
Yeah, they're all in detention centers in Australia.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so they are not going to be wonderful people who can go on and work for the local milk people.
Local milk people? Does that mean just like white people? He's like, hey, these white people won't hire these people.
I have no idea. Nobody knows what it means, but there is a bunch of Twitter speculation. So here are a few.
Uh-oh.
Asterisk. Steps away from Twitter for literally 2 seconds. What the hell are local milk people? I was asleep for a few hours. Is local milk people Trump's way of referring to women? Another one. I take cafefe with milk. Please, no sugar, people. Look at these immigrants who went on to work for the local milk people. Local milk people needs to be a band. Stat. Our first album will be titled "We Are the 2%." Look at this sad local milk person. He's sad because refugees are not wonderful people who will go on to work for the local milk people. Milk people is a stunningly accurate description of Trump's base, though.
Oh.
Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be local milk people. I dream of a world in which the local milk people unite with the local cookie people. How good a person are you on a scale from refugee to works for the local milk people?
I just imagine Donald Trump living like he's got all of his little like toys, his little figurines, and he's playing, and like That's what he calls workers. My milk people.
And probably my favorite. Why do I suspect that local milk people didn't include any chocolate milk people?
Oh man, I read something last week that said that something like 30% of Americans think that chocolate milk comes from brown cows.
Yeah, I've heard that too before, and I'm like, you dumb motherfuckers. That same 30% is the 30% that Trump's fucking holding on to right now.
Yep.
Yeah, they're the 26% who still give him a positive rating.
Yeah.
And real quick, while we're talking about Trump and his fucking shit, I have figured it out.
What?
I have a formula that generates Trump tweets.
Yes.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this pre-show.
Okay, here's what you have to do. I did it by opening a bunch of different tabs in Google and having them all set to the appropriate Google Translates.
Okay. Matt learned how to computer this week.
So what you have to do
multiple tabs even.
I know.
What you do is you start with an eloquent tweet, and Obama is a perfect choice.
Yes.
And step one is to copy that tweet, translate it into Hawaiian, which is, of course, where Obama was born. Then from Hawaiian to Swahili, the language of Kenya, where Obama was really born.
Yes.
And then from Swahili to Arabic, because he's a Muslim.
Yes.
And back to English. And,
do you have any examples?
I have some examples.
Oh, nice.
Here is, I'm going to do my best at this.
Okay.
Here's the Obama tweet.
Okay.
I'm still asking you to believe. Not in my ability to bring about change, but in yours. I believe in change because I believe in you. And the Trump translation, I exercise lucky. You thinking I could make a difference, but in you, I think change because I think so.
That does work. This needs to be a Reddit page.
That made me snort.
Here's another Obama tweet. In honor of their legacy, @Flotus and I are joining Americans across the country in a day of service to our community here in D.C. Hashtag MLK Day.
What is Flotus going to turn into?
Here's the Trump. In honor of their heritage, Flotus met Americans in a poem. In the future work of our community in D.C. MLK Day. Today, we honor those who are leading the fight against HIV/AIDS. Because of them, an AIDS-free generation is now within our reach.
Oh, no.
Today, thanks to the lead in the fight against HIV/AIDS, for them, service, no generation time in our units. I've got a couple more. We don't have to do them all, though. Let's see.
No, these are funny.
Yeah, I'm digging them.
One thing I've learned from my time abroad as president, young people will shape our future long after their leaders leave the world stage. Something I learned from my time looking abroad with the president, the young are behind their leader, leaving the world to organize our future.
And so they're doing it from heaven, then?
I guess.
Leaving the world to organize our future.
This one is probably my favorite one. It's the last one. The suits said it all. Colorful, fun, a little outlandish. That's what sports should be. Thanks, Craig Sager. We'll all miss you. Riot said that, Lou. Fun, a bit strange. The bottom of the sound. Thank you, Craig Sager. Google miss you.
Google miss you?
And what does bottom of the sound even mean?
I don't know. But that's how you generate Trump tweets if you're interested, if you want to make them on your own.
That's awesome.
Send us your best.
Yeah, send us your best.
Yeah, go out and make your own Trump tweets and send them to us. I'm sure they will be delightful.
It would be a lot of fun, yeah.
So it's Hawaiian, Swahili, And then, what was the last one?
Yeah, you have to go English to Hawaiian,
Yeah.
Hawaiian to Swahili, Swahili to Arabic, Arabic to English.
There we go.
And you should have it. The one thing I noticed is a lot of the Hawaiian words don't make it through from Swahili through Arabic, so you end up with random Hawaiian words somewhere in the middle of that, which actually works out because kafefe could be Hawaiian. I don't know.
True.
If it was with a K. But
So yeah, go out and make your own Trump tweets and send them to us at godlessrevolution@gmail.com.
Or post them right to our Facebook page.
Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing some of those.
My name is Dr. Karen Garst. I am the author of Women Beyond Belief, Discovering Life Without Religion. I also have a blog at www.faithlessfeminist.com. You can find me on Facebook at Faithless Feminist, and Twitter I'm at Karen_Garst. And you are listening to the Godless Revolution.
The offer of certainty, the offer of complete security, the offer of an impermeable faith that can't give way, is an offer of something not worth having. I want to live my life taking the risk all the time that I don't know anything like enough yet, that I haven't understood enough, that I can't know enough, that I'm always hungrily operating on the margins of a potentially great harvest of future knowledge and wisdom. I wouldn't have it any other way.
So I was kind of thinking this week that there's not really... The atheist culture is kind of small, always has been throughout humanity.
Mm-hmm.
But religious culture has always had sort of a stranglehold on the arts and those kinds of things. So
yeah, that's where a lot of art comes from, for sure.
So I've decided to revise have you guys heard of the Footprints in the Sand?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ubiquitous Christian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's when I carried you, my son.
Right. So I've decided to revise that and make
Hey,
it
Jesus,
something...
what the fuck? There's only one set of footsteps when shit was really hard, man.
Yeah. So
you've revised it.
Mm-hmm. And it's called Bigfootprints in the Sand. One night I dreamed I was walking along the beach with Bigfoot. Many scenes from my life flashed across the sky. In each scene, I noticed footprints in the sand. Sometimes there were 2 sets of footprints. Other times only 1. This bothered me because I noticed that during the low periods of my life, when I was suffering from anguish, sorrow, or defeat, I could only see 1 set of footprints. So I asked Bigfoot, "Why when I needed you most? Have you not been there for me?" Bigfoot replied, The end. Are you okay, Dan? You could probably cut the music now, I think.
No, because that music goes really well with Dan's laughing. Wait, he's still laughing. He's still laughing. Oh, yeah, pause.
I was
expecting that.
I was not expecting that at all.
Yeah, not exactly funny, but a little bit of a misdirection.
And we're going to take a break here for a second while Dan collects himself.
Hi, this is Yvette Dontremont, aka the Cybabe, and you're listening to Godless Revolution. You can find me at cybabe.com, at my Twitter account at the Cybabe, and if you've hunt really hard, you can find me at Pornhub. I dare you.
Next up, Gorilla Enclosure. Gorilla Enclosure. Tragedy always brings the internet together, and nothing was more tragic online than the Harambe incident. Rest in peace, Harambe. Tear off God's dick and arms.
Rejoining the Godless Revolution podcast now.
What else you got, Matthew?
I had that viral thing that probably everyone's seen, but
AIDS?
Mm-hmm.
Herpes?
Yeah.
Got the herp?
U.S. Space Agency, NASA, raised plenty of eyebrows when it announced last week that it was looking for a new planetary protection officer. The job, which conjures up images of superheroes fighting little green men, is primarily focused on preventing astronauts bringing biological contaminants back to Earth from outer space, or from space, and vice versa. But at least one standout applicant for the job saw things somewhat differently, as you'll hear in the following application letter. Dear NASA, my name is Jack Davis, and I would like to apply for the Planetary Protection Officer job. I may be 9, but I think I would be fit for the job. One of the reasons is my sister says I'm an alien. Also, I have seen almost all the space and alien movies I can see. I have also seen the show Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and hope to see the movie Men in Black. I'm great at video games. I'm young, so I can learn to think like an alien. Sincerely, Jack Davis, Guardian of the Galaxy, 4th grade.
Hired.
Good job, Jack.
NASA's Planetary Division boss, James L. Green, wrote back to Jack and congratulated him on the application and giving him some more insight into the Planetary Protection Officer position.
I think that would be Captain Jack.
Indeed. It's about protecting Earth from tiny microbes when we bring back samples from the moon, asteroids, and Mars. It's about protecting our planets and moons from our germs as we responsibly explore the solar system, he wrote. Mr. Green urged the aspiring spaceman to study hard and do well in school so he could one day join the space agency. So that's a kind of a cool...
Yeah, and I think it's really cool that NASA took the time to actually write the kid back.
Yeah, and inspiring more...
Yeah.
More hope and excitement for space and exploration science.
Yeah.
Maybe the kid will, I mean, it'd be badass if 30 years from now, we hear about this kid. It was working for the space agency and had written a letter in when he was 9 years old to take up this job, and getting a letter back from NASA inspired him to actually look into these kind of fields of education and actually learn the shit.
Yeah, that would be cool.
You said fields of education, and for some reason I'm thinking about like
a big field with Bigfoot walking through it.
just a big field with education in it.
It's true.
Look at my fields of education.
You do have to plant the seeds, though.
Oh, very good. Very good. So maybe this will make me so I'm not so giggly. Pope Fluffy does not like the trans people, apparently.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought he wasn't a dick bag. Just a dick.
Yeah. In a break from the Trump administration, Pope Fluffy decided to align himself directly with the Orange Cheeto by saying that today in schools they're teaching this to children. To children! That everyone can choose their gender. He said apparently in a closed-door meeting with Catholic bishops last week. Francis added that the increased visibility of trans people is due to ideological colonizing through textbooks financed by wealthy people and institutions in very influential countries, which he believes is terrible.
So he's talking about the Bible right there, right?
What?
People putting out books that are very influential and rich and
live in gilded houses.
Yeah.
Wear robes. Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about Bibles. They spread them all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He also quoted his predecessor, Pope Benny XVI. Speaking with Pope Benedict, who is well and has a clear mind, he was telling me, Holiness, this is the epic of sin against God the Creator. He's intelligent. God created man and woman. God created the world this way, this way, this way. And we are doing the opposite. Pope Francis is seen by many as progressive in terms of acceptance of the LGBTQ community, after saying the church should apologize to gay people in June, but clearly these sentiments have a breaking point.
Yeah, he's friendly to LGBTQ.
Yeah, he apparently
he
forgot the T part of it, yeah. Kelsey Louis, CEO of Gay Men's Health Crisis, said he was saddened and disturbed by the Pope's remarks. He added, Our children deserve to know that, of course, they have the right to choose, and GMHC applauds all schools that teach students not to oppress who they are, but instead live the life as the gender they most identify with. Mr. Louis also noted that in the wake of the mass shooting at Pulse nightclub in Orlando, what we need now is for our world leaders to spread messages of tolerance and acceptance versus the usual derisiveness and hate spewed from the Catholic Church and religion in general. Yeah. So, again, fuck the Pope.
Mm-hmm. Yes, double fuck the Pope.
And I say we need to work on the tolerance thing first. It's hard to get everybody to accept someone else.
Yeah.
But at least tolerance.
Yeah, the differences.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To realize, okay, there's a difference. That person's that way. Yeah, maybe I don't fucking like it.
Yeah, whatever.
But whatever.
Right.
You're different than me, and that scares me, and so I hate you.
Yeah. I'm like, the acceptance thing, I'm like, you know what? You can't force anyone to accept anything.
If only there was a widespread book that had teachings like love thy neighbor and turn the other cheek and stuff like that they could grab onto so fervently as they do the books. Oh, wait.
If only. Yeah, that would be strange. Speaking of religions and doing shitty things and junk and stuff to the LGBTQ community.
Did you turn to me for that?
I did. I was waiting for it.
Right as I leaned back, you whipped around, and it's kind of scared me and gave me a sort of a timid one there. I was like, "Wait, what am I doing wrong?
What's going on?
Don't do it."
Oh man, now I'm coughing from laughing so hard earlier. But the Alabama Baptist Convention says that it is saddened that a college voted to affirm the recognition of a student group that identifies with values contrary to biblical teachings on sexuality and refused a $3 million donation from the Baptist Convention. Of course, this $3 million had a caveat tied to it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
A stipulation that said, we'll give you this $3 million if you decide that you will shut down your LGBT student group.
Yeah. Religions don't give gifts. They don't do charity. What they do is they pay people to behave like they want them to.
Yeah, Samford University, a Christian institution founded by Alabama Baptists, declined a donation offered by state churches on the condition the group was stopped from forming. Earlier this year, students applied for permission to form Samford Together. Earlier this year, students applied for permission to form Samford. Jesus.
Kill the frog.
Samford Together to provide a forum for students who want to discuss topics relating to sexual orientation and gender identity in an open-minded and accepting environment. And of course, the Christians could not have that happening.
No way.
We don't want an open-minded and accepting environment. We want a closed-minded and hateful environment.
One we can control.
We'll give you $3 million if you can make that happen. But thankfully, the university decided, no, go fuck yourself. People are people. We want people to be free to engage in supportive groups. And so they told them to take their $3 million and shove it where Jesus will never look.
And for the PR side of this for them, they might get other groups giving them more than that $3 million they would have gotten from this bigoted group.
Possibly.
Even though the church school might still have bigoted views.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know much about the school, about their past, what they've done before. I mean, I don't know if it sounds like they might be a little more progressive as far as
it is a
social issues.
It is a Christian school, so there are some limits as to.
Well, that's why I said with social issues, nothing to do with the sciences or anything, but
yeah. You have more stuff, Matt?
I do.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to do this one because I think it dovetails nicely into that story we just did.
Okay.
Well, dovetail the shit out of it.
Ish. Hypocritical Christians scorn science when it makes them feel icky, but are happy to accept it when it supports their book. In such a case, DNA research is shining new light on the biblical and real-life Canaanite civilization, which existed thousands of years ago in the Middle East. Did you see this story?
Is this the one where they said they found DNA of the Canaanites?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was that noise?
What?
That was a.
Okay.
Kind of stifled by a cough, kind of.
Oh, okay.
The ancient civilization, which created the first alphabet and is mentioned frequently in the Bible, has long fascinated historians. Live Science reports that because the Canaanites kept their records on papyrus rather than clay, relatively little is known about them. Well, papyrus and the whole God commanding the Jews to murder them to extinction thing, but either way, they're gone. Now, however, scientists have found a genetic trail back to the Canaanites' ancient world by sequencing the genomes. No, genomes are not little troll elf things that like hip-hop. They sequenced 5 Canaanites that lived 4,000...
Sub-genome.
They sequenced 5 Canaanites that lived 4,000 years ago with genomes from 99 people living in modern-day Lebanon. Researchers identified a strong genetic link to the mysterious civilization. Guess God forgot to tell the Israelites to bleach the crime scene. The results surprised the scientists, whose work was supported by UK biomedical research charity the Wellcome Trust. In light of the enormously complex history of this region in the last few millennia, it was quite surprising that over 90% of the genetic ancestry of present-day Lebanese was derived from the Canaanites. In addition to the ancient Canaanite DNA, the analysis of genomes from the modern-day Lebanese people also showed a small proportion of Eurasian ancestry that may have come from conquests by the Assyrians, the Assyrians, Persians, or Macedonians, according to experts. The researchers also discovered that the ancient Canaanites were a mixture of local people who settled in farming villages during the Neolithic period and Eastern migrants who arrived about 5,000 years ago. Those evil bastards. Just settling. Yeah. Easy to understand why a genocide was necessary. Using ancient DNA, we show for the first time who were genetically the ancient Canaanites, how they were related to other ancient populations, and what their fate was. Our work shows the power of genetics in filling gaps in human history when the historical records are absent or scarce. The results complement biblical accounts of the Canaanites. Only in the sense that the people who wrote the Bible knew about the Canaanites. While the Israelites are commanded to utterly destroy the Canaanites in Deuteronomy 20:16 through 18, Judges 1 describes the survival of a number of Canaanite communities. So I guess disobedience is tolerated better if you're slightly more Jewy. Because they clearly didn't do it. Canaanites once lived in what we now recognize as Israel, the Palestinian territories, Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. The remains of the 5 ancient Canaanites studied as part of the DNA research were recovered in the modern-day Lebanese city of Sidon.
See, no, I don't think you can call them Canaanites.
Okay.
Just because, with the genome, they found a group of people that have a genetic marker in there that is unique to that area. Doesn't make them Canaanites. Just means, well, these fuckers didn't fucking move on like everyone else did. Here's a group of people that fucking left Africa and stopped here.
This is apologetics from Ryan Duffy.
Right, but if you had, let's say, mummies from Egypt,
yeah,
and you got DNA from 4 of those mummies, and then you tested and then you tested people around the area, and you found a high concentration of people who had those same genetic markers as the mummies who were living, say, just across the Red Sea.
Mm-hmm. Mummies are dead, Matt.
Then you could say that those people are likely the
offspring.
Descendants.
I guess what I'm saying is, just because you found these people in that area doesn't mean the biblical stories are true.
Well, no, of course not.
But it sounds that's what people are trying to say now.
Well,
hey, the Bible's true. The Bible's true. Look
some
at this,
people will. Yeah, some people will say that.
And that's where I was going with it. Like, you can't say the Bible's true because you found these people with this genetic marker in that area that exist only in that area.
No, of course.
Because that happens all over the fucking world.
You can still call them Canaanites, though. I mean, just in the same way that the Bible talks about the Arabs or the.
Yeah, I guess I should have been more elaborate. That you can't say that's the actual literal biblical Canaanites that were described in the stories are 100% accurate. That,
Yeah.
I guess that's the way I was going.
No, believe me, I think the Bible's bullshit too.
I guess it's kind of like I guess because they still even call like the genetic markers from Africa, this is Eve. because it's the oldest genetic marker we can find.
Oh, yeah.
It's not literally Eve. It's just that's, I guess, the common terminology we use for the first female.
And I wish they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, when they stretch it back as far as they can and say, well, she's
the genetic Eve, because everyone knows the story of that, so we're making it something that everybody can understand.
Yep.
Hi, this is Megan Kennedy. I'm a speaker with the Satanic Temple. You can find me on Twitter at 6 Moments, and you're listening to The Godless Revolution.
We're going to take it, and we're going to take it hard, and we're going to take it strong, and I will work with overwhelming force. Everything in the butt. Hey.
Thank you to everybody who has rated the show on iTunes and Stitcher and are following us on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. And to all our Patreon patrons, you make the show possible.
We haven't done any audio anything yet tonight.
No.
I think this might be the only audio thing we have apart from perhaps something during the Patreon portion of the show. But this is a Georgia mayor threatens to arrest a blogger over In God We Trust on the back of their patrol cars, which is bullshit anyway. I mean, yeah, it's our national motto.
It shouldn't be.
But yeah, it shouldn't. It absolutely should not be.
E pluribus unum should be our national motto.
And this mayor is trying to say, well, you know, it's our national motto, so that's why we put it on there. It really has no other significance than that. And it's like,
bullshit.
Dude, you're so fucking full of shit. If it had no other significance, then why bother putting it on the fucking things
then
in the first place?
What are you doing? Yeah, if it doesn't mean anything.
East of Atlanta says he threatened to arrest a blogger after they disagreed over a slogan emblazoned on the city's police cars.
And this slogan states, "In God We Trust." The blogger is an atheist. 11 Alive's Doug Richards paid a visit to Grovetown, east of Atlanta today.
This is more than a story about the separation of church and state. It's also a story about how disagreements over that concept can get very overheated, especially in a small Georgia town.
I don't think it's a statement.
Mayor Gary Jones spearheaded the move to emblazon "In God We Trust" on the rear bumpers of Grovetown's police cars.
Just feel like it's a national motto that's, you know, has been accepted in the courts back in the 50s.
Back in the 50s. They put,
during the Red Scare.
Yeah, during the Red Scare, they put "In God We Trust" on our money.
Yeah, when
became
they
our national motto.
When they changed our national motto.
Yeah, when they changed the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right.
Everybody was afraid of big bad Russia.
So if you want to make an argument from tradition, you failed, because not only is that a fallacy, but also E pluribus unum was a much longer and older tradition than In God We Trust,
and came from our founding fathers.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't believe it. They're all Christians.
In the courts back in the 50s.
It's just an egregious affront to separation of church and state.
And it drew the ire of RJ, a Grovetown atheist who has declined to give his name for fear of reprisal.
Well, yeah, in Georgia, he's in the Bible Belt. I'm sure there's going to be some fucking redneck dipshit who's going to, you can't tell me that I can't have God on my car.
Yeah, someone just like the fucking mayor.
Yeah.
Fuck you, I'm going to go firebomb your house.
Grovetown atheist who has declined to give his name for fear of reprisal. RJ complained to Mayor Jones about the slogans on the bumper.
I thought he was really disrespectful and dismissive and derisive of my input. And I insulted him a little bit.
And I insulted him a little bit. I wonder what he said.
Well, he tells us what he said.
Does he?
Yeah. But I don't think insulting a person is an arrestable offense.
It's not. We have freedom of speech.
Yeah.
At that point, RJ says Mayor Jones threatened to have him arrested.
It all falls under the Georgia Criminal Code.
That you can't say bad things to the mayor? Is that part of the Georgia Criminal Code?
No, he's just trying to be slick. What happened was that he doesn't like an atheist, and he's getting his ego hurt because the kid's calling him names. What's he going to do? He's going to puff out his chest and say, I've got every one of these officers underneath me here, and they'll come fucking get you, you little shit. Yeah. That's what he was doing.
Now, power vested in me, I now declare you arrestable.
Yeah, he was just swinging his dick. That's all he was doing. And so now that the media is like, okay, is that an arrestable offense? Well, you see, it falls under Georgia
Criminal Code.
It's all bullshit. You'll notice he doesn't give any specifics. He just says it falls under Georgia Criminal Code.
We're forgetting that this is Governor Richard. So when he calls him Governor Dick, it's really not an offensive thing.
Yeah. Well,
He said he called you a jerk. Is that sufficient to seek a warrant?
It shouldn't be.
No, it is not.
Definitely not.
Called him a jerk. That's it. And the mayor doesn't disagree. Like, he doesn't say, "Oh no, it was far worse. He called me a fucking idiot" or anything.
He
like
even
that.
had a smug like laugh/smile thing when he said that to him. Like,
but he did nod. He was like, "Yeah, he called me that."
Yeah. He called.
He agrees. Yeah,
he called you a jerk, and you're going to arrest him. What a fucking crybaby.
Yeah,
little snowflake.
Well, it wasn't the name calling. It was just the continuation, and I didn't want to have any.
The insolence.
It wasn't the name calling. It was just that I didn't want to talk to him anymore.
He kept sending me these messages on the internet, and I couldn't find out how to get him to stop on the internet. So I said, I'm going to arrest him.
He was not going to respect my authority.
Further contact with him.
Jones and RJ say at that point their interaction abruptly halted until RJ wrote about it online. Now the mayor says he's getting complaints from around the world about the slogan, but he says none from Grovetown.
At one from Grovetown, yes, one from Grovetown.
The original complaint?
Not none.
Yeah.
It's non-zero. There's one from Grovetown. So this proves the point of the atheist that he was dismissive of these claims.
Mm-hmm. And it shouldn't matter if it's not from in Grovetown. You're still part of the United States.
It shouldn't matter. Yeah, it shouldn't matter if there are zero complaints from anywhere, because if it's not a good thing to do to separate your citizens into categories like that.
Realize that horse has been out of the barn for like 50 years. I mean, it's on your currency and all that stuff.
Well, absolutely. And that's exactly what the mayor said to me, which is really...
You know, we've had slaves for 400 years, so why go change that kind of thing?
The horse is out of the barn.
Yeah. It's right because that's the way we've always done it.
Yeah.
So it's correct. So
what caused our spat?
RJ says he regrets using the unkind words to describe the mayor. The mayor says he has none. In Grovetown, Doug Richards, 11 Alive News.
Good old Christian forgiveness.
I could think of a lot worse words than jerk. I mean, I could have called him a cunty-faced McCunterson.
Is that worse? It's kind of funnier.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with it a little bit. And the fact my mom don't like me using the word cunt.
Oh, right.
And as I learned, Dan Morris from Two Skeptical Chaps does not like using the word cunt either.
He does not.
What?
Not on the podcast, at least. That's what he said.
What?
So next time I'm on there, I'm going to make sure it gets really cunty.
I almost used his Trump voice. Not on the podcast, at least.
Why
the voice is up here. It's that way down low. Okay?
Why doesn't he like...
He said it's like just the one word he doesn't like. He
just said
feel
not on the
icky.
podcast,
Like he just doesn't like saying the word cunt.
He always, even when he's reading quotes, he always stops, pauses, and then he's like, C word.
What?
Yeah.
Which is weird because that word is used so much more casually there than it is here.
Yeah.
He just doesn't like...
Maybe it's because his wife is
from Chicago and he got his ass whooped.
The way you started that, maybe it's because his wife is
not a cunt.
I was
Let's stay way away from that.
Not going to say that. I was going to say I couldn't remember exactly where from, and so I stumbled for a minute. But yeah, she's
from
Chicago,
the Midwest, so
right?
she's probably an awesome woman.
Yeah, she's from Chicago, isn't she? Yeah, I think. Yeah,
most people from the Midwest are way better.
And so she probably doesn't like it, and so
and
so to keep peace at home.
No, but are there any words that are flipped? That we use more casually that offend them? Like this, like, you know,
I don't know,
because they use cunt so sort of a lot more casually than we do, but that's like a big deal over here.
There's got to be something. I've never.
I don't know. Let us know, Dan. Are there any words?
Yeah, that we use that. I don't know. I can't think of anything.
I can't either, but I'm not British, so.
I mean, there's no question our show is much more in the gutter than theirs.
Oh yeah.
Well, we're not posh.
I tried to.
Set him up and knock him down.
And as long as I'm here, we're going to stay in the gutter.
Yeah, because you keep fucking demoting me.
Well, hey, they did not listen to my demotion last week.
No,
they gave you a double promotion.
That's true. I think we should do another
And you've just
promotion.
been floating on air all week long after.
Oh yeah,
I've
just been absolutely thrilled.
You are glowing a little more this week.
That's because Bigfoot makes me happy. That's kind of like my dream scream. Do you guys remember that from a year ago or whatever?
Dream scream?
No.
Oh, never mind. Forget
Is
about
that
it.
like? I don't know.
I know I've told you about it. Like, sometimes when you're like in a dream and you're trying to run away from something and it's like you're underwater. Everything's slow motion.
You just can't move fast.
Yeah, and like for some reason, if I try to like verbalize or vocalize anything in a stress dream, that's how it's always just the same. It's always that's it. That's all it does. I don't know why. I can't do anything else with my voice in my dream. I don't know why. So when I hear that, I'm like, oh, I'm asleep. All right, I'll just wake up real quick.
Turn into a caveman.
Yeah.
We might have because of Jesus Christ.
Because of Jesus Christ.
Well, because you said that, and it made me think of something I do. I might have mentioned it on the same episode because it probably went something along the same lines. But when I'm first like nodding off, when I first start drifting off to sleep, I often make a sound, like I moan.
Oh yeah, you did talk about this.
Yeah. So as I'm drifting off to sleep, most of the time I'll go.
I mean, that just sounds like an old man.
And it's that period of like you're just barely awake to being totally asleep. It's that just tiny little sliver of time in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done that way too many times at like the doctor's office waiting for an appointment or whatever.
Like he's dying.
When I'm
get him in here now.
When I'm tired, sitting in the waiting room, sitting back in their chairs with my head leaned up against the wall, and I'll wake myself up because I make that noise. Like it's loud enough that I hear it and it wakes me up. So I'm sitting in the doctor's office, falling asleep and go, and it wakes me up and I look around and like,
I mean, it is pretty unnerving.
And like, yeah,
it's kind of like an agonal breath. Like
there's
a dying breath.
Giant fat man who looks like he may be sleeping, but apparently is dying, is making this sound, and everybody in the office is like staring at me, and I just usually give him a little wave. Sorry, I'm just falling asleep.
It's just something I do.
Yeah, it's my
just
thing.
What I do.
It's my thing. I'll be here probably again in 6 months, and if you're here, we'll go through this again. I wake up in my sleep all the time, like punching the wall or punching my pillow or
punching Tracy.
I think I punched Tracy once. I've kicked her a couple times, but the last time, like when I was dating Danielle before Tracy, one night I had a dream that I was riding a motorcycle and we were on the road and approaching like a tunnel through a little hill.
Okay.
And I'm looking down the road and I can see that there's like wolves coming down the little hill from like on top of the hill down toward the road where I'm driving toward it. And as we get closer to it, the wolves start like chasing after me and trying to attack the bike. So I'm trying to kick him away. And I'm just like fucking rapid fire ninja kicking the shit out of her while she's asleep. She woke up all pissed off at me like, what the fuck are you doing? Gotta protecting you from wolves, man. Quit complaining.
Well, and animals do the same thing. Like when you see like a sleeping dog and it's like running on the ground, but it's sleeping.
Yeah. Oliver twitches a lot.
This is Mithrin, author of The ABCs of Science and Mormonism, as well as I Should Start a Cult, and you're listening to The Godless Revolution.
How you doing? Well, it ain't raining. So that's good. Yeah, I guess so.
You fellas met Reg? That's quite a hairdo you got going there, Reg. You know, a neo-skunk thing?
Roman, what are you doing?
Well, he's got the hair.
Well, you don't have to say it.
His hair turned white because lightning hit him. He's been struck by lightning. How many times is it now, Reg?
6 times. 66 times.
66 times. God, that's gotta hurt. Yeah, you'll never meet a guy more tuned into the barometric pressure than Reg is.
If you have questions, comments, concerns, compliments, corrections, criticisms, or concepts for content, contact the show via email at godlessrevolution@gmail.com, by text or voicemail at 330-81-REBEL, or Twitter the twatter at TGR Podcast. Thank you!
All right, Matt, you got a couple more things for us?
I do. A Harvard-educated dipshit economist who's mayor of Buenos Aires, Argentina, said that...
I thought you were going to say it's Ted Cruz.
Ooh. Yeah, well, yeah, of the same
George
class.
Bush.
Right. He was Yale, wasn't he?
Probably. He was one of those Ivy League somethings.
Anyway, he said that human beings and dinosaurs lived in the same era and fought one another.
Oh, where they're like human versus dinosaur wars?
Yep. I mean, to make a good TV show, I'm surprised Fox News hasn't picked that, or Fox hasn't picked that up.
Though I guess if humans and dinosaurs are coexisting, the fighting part's sort of a given.
When dinosaurs go wild.
I don't know if I want to fight one. I'd be running my ass away.
Oh, it gets better. He'll talk about some stuff that is totally fucking stupid. In an address, which I was going to say address.
In an address.
In an address which will have creationists across the globe attempting to high-five one another, Horacio Rodriguez Larreta used a pretty arbitrary example to convey his message. That humans' capacity to organize had turned them into Earth's dominant species. This is a guy who studied economy. So I don't know what the fuck he says, quote, when one man fought a dinosaur, the dinosaur won. Harvard.
Okay.
5 men against a dinosaur, the dinosaur gobbled them up. Same with 20. But if those 20 organized themselves, they would kill it. This guy went to fucking Harvard.
Does he say what kind of dinosaur this is?
No. Well, just because he went to Harvard.
They're dinosaurs. They're predators.
Any of them.
Any dinosaur is the same story with all them dinosaurs.
He must have had a rich daddy.
Yeah, perhaps. Probably. Just in case his audience thought he was conjuring fantastical examples as a form of poetic license, the mayor went on to explain that he had learned of the fact from a book he read.
Was it written by...
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that makes it true then.
Was it written by Answers in Genesis?
Did the Gideons leave it in hotels and motels?
Hurry, somebody give him God is not great while he still believes everything he reads. Yeah, this guy's reasoning's on such a shaky foundation. It's like getting a piggyback ride from Michael J. Fox.
I like Michael J. Fox.
I do too.
That was a little below the belt.
It's like when people will post the meme and it's just a picture of him shaking my head.
Because of course the fact that there is broad scientific consensus that dinosaurs roamed the Earth about 65 million years ago. Anatomically, modern humans only appeared some 200,000 years ago, with the genus Homo dating back some 3 million years or so. Mayor Larreta's day job sees him running a city the size of Malta with a population of almost 3 million.
Wow, yeah.
3 million people. This fucking moron.
That's scary.
Yeah.
It's a frightening proposition. He shouldn't be in charge of himself,
no.
let alone 3 million other people.
And he's an economist, not a paleontologist.
Yeah, or an anthropologist, or any of those.
Or any kind of ologist.
Dinosaurologist.
Or a biologist. Any of the relevant fields.
That you would have studied any of that in, yeah.
Fields of education.
Yeah. What else you got?
Big fields.
My final thing. Staunchly religious people's minds are dominated by emotion. Dominated by emotion over analytic thinking.
Yeah, I would have guessed that.
Says Captain No Shit of his study, while the atheist is ruled by the analytic network.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Religious people, or the gullible, cling to certain beliefs in the face of evidence because those views are closely tied to their moral compasses and gives them the comfy, cozy, warm fuzzies, new studies have suggested, to the surprise of, well, no one really. Dogmatic individuals hold confidently to their demonstrably unfounded faith, even when contradicted by experts, because those beliefs have emotional resonance and other bullshit soft words that don't mean anything.
Well, yeah, it's like when Newt Gingrich talked about, well, it doesn't matter what the truth is, it's what people feel is the truth.
Right, yep. In fact, the firmer they hold to their nonsense in the face of facts, the more favorably it's viewed generally within those circles. In contrast, quote, militant atheists struggle to see anything positive about religion because there isn't anything. Because their brains are dominated by analytical thinking, scientists found. Or in other words, when religion is scrutinized without adding any magic or feel-goods, it's useless. Or in other words, when religion is scrutinized properly, it's useless. In all the words you need, religion is useless. Emotional resonance helps religious people to feel more certain. The more moral correctness they see in something, the more they think it affirms their thinking, said Anthony Jack, associate professor of philosophy and co-author of the research. In contrast, and correctly, moral concerns make non-religious people feel less certain. I added the correctly bit. So nobody thinks I'm taking that from the article. Terrorists within their bubble believe it's a highly moral thing they're doing. They believe they're righting wrongs and protecting something sacred, said Mr. Jack. He added Donald Trump's election campaign had been able to appeal to members of its base while ignoring facts by emotionally resonating with people. Which is true.
Mm-hmm.
Still doing it.
He just makes me feel like it's okay to be a racist.
Yep. He's just like me. Yep. At the other extreme, despite espousing critical thinking, dogmatic atheists may lack the insight to see anything positive about religion. They can only see that it contradicts their scientific analytical thinking. And so as soon as religion can do some good that secular groups can't, we'll reconsider. But analytical is the way to knowing. Emotion is not. I don't know why they have to caveat all of this. By the way, I'm one of the very few who belong to a group of defined by outsiders as militant, while generally opposing firearms and weaponry.
Yeah.
It's bizarre. The studies surveyed people who identified as atheist, Christian, Hindu, Buddhist, Jewish, Muslim, and of 19 other religions. Interesting, but not eye-opening.
No.
Not surprising. We have one final story this evening, if I can manage to get through it.
I do wonder, though, really quickly, on stories like that, those that are so obvious to us, that's the way that the study's gonna fall. Like, of course they're more emotional. That's what it all is. None of it can be analyzed. It's all faith, right? We know that. They like Jesus because he gives them warm hugs when they get on their knees in the morning. But what do they expect to find when they see a study like this? Wouldn't they expect to find, religious people are far more reasonable? Of course we are. Wouldn't they expect that? Yeah, of course they would. I mean,
they would hope to see that anyway. Yeah.
They would probably feel insulted, be like, well, I'm reasonable.
Well, I mean, I just wonder, because this is no surprise. I mean, obviously they don't read studies, of course, but what do they think when they see something like this? They couldn't be proud of that, could they?
Fake news.
I mean, of course, I feel anger a lot, but I don't have
I mean, like I said, Newt Gingrich was on a Sunday morning news program and said, it doesn't matter what the facts are, it's how people feel about something.
That's true.
And he said that, like he just fucking came out and said that shit.
Yeah.
Like, facts don't matter.
So do you think they're equally as shocked when we come out and say, the evidence is against you guys? They're like, can you believe he said that out loud? He should be embarrassed to say something like that. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
Well, that makes them, they feel uncomfortable when people say something like that, so they discredit it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes them feel a little
So it's
oogie.
wrong. Yeah, so it's wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. I feel bad. You're wrong. Yeah, that's true. Fucking weirdos.
So the last story of the evening, I tried to get through a couple times before.
Uh-oh.
And
it's really a miserable story.
It is. It's terrible.
It really is terrible.
It's a terrible, awful story. And I failed in trying to get through it before because we tried to do it immediately following Matt's Bigfootprints in the sand or whatever it was.
Well, it doesn't help that they got a picture of Sasquatch right at the top of the page here.
Jesus. And and the first line is a very serious line that I kept
fucking up on.
Yeah, I couldn't help myself. So we're gonna give the little face wipe actor thing. I'm serious mode now. This was sent to us from listener and friend of the show and guest, but we haven't had him on the show for a long time. We need to get him back in the studio.
We'll get him back in here.
Taboo sent this in to us.
Taboo.
Apparently there is a church in North Carolina that is being investigated for importing hundreds of Brazilian worshippers and turning them into slaves. I had posted about this out on the Godless Revolution Facebook page with a caption of something like, well, the Bible says it's fine, so why not?
Yeah.
This comes to us from Raw Story. A North Carolina church that is already under investigation for kidnapping a gay man and attempting to beat his homosexuality out of him is once again in the spotlight after it was revealed that church members have been importing worshippers from Brazil and turning them into slaves. I made it through the first paragraph. Thank you very much.
And I think we actually covered that other story that they're in trouble for, too.
Oh, yeah?
Beating the gay man.
Yeah. According to the Associated Press, the Word of Faith Fellowship recruits young members from 2 affiliated churches in Brazil to come to the U.S. on tourist and student visas, where they are put to work on the church's 35-acre compound in Spindale for no pay.
When you call it a compound, that's already a negative thing.
That's not the best word.
Yeah, and you're importing them and not paying them.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is bad.
One man, identified as Andre Oliveira, told the AP that he was forced to work 15 hours a day, usually for no pay, cleaning offices and warehouses owned by the evangelical church. He was also forced to work at private businesses owned by some of the church's ministers. There's a typo in there and it threw me off. Oliveira stated that failure to comply resulted in beatings and shaming from the pulpit.
Whoa.
Yeah, so not only are they making them work for the church, they're making them work for the church members' private businesses that are for-profit.
The for-profit business that no doubt the ministers are funding with their tax-free churches.
Yes.
Yeah, and then if they didn't...
And then they're not paying overhead.
And then they were beaten.
Yeah.
And then they were publicly beaten.
They kept us as slaves, Oliveira explained. We were expendable. We meant nothing to them. Nothing. How can you do that to people? Claim you love them and then beat them in the name of God. Well, they've been doing it for centuries.
Yeah. That's what it is, dude.
According to the Associated Press, quote, under U.S. law, visitors on tourist visas are prohibited from performing work for which people normally would be compensated. Those on student visas are allowed some work under circumstances that were not met at Word of Faith Fellowship. Former congregants who come from Brazil said that they had their passports taken away and lived in horrific living conditions, with as many as 8 people living in the basement of a church leader's home. What little money they were paid was immediately returned to the church to pay for their living expenses.
Yeah. What, the blanket they get?
Yeah. Brazilians come here for labor. I'm telling you, that's it, claimed Thiago Silva, who was recruited at age 18. He called the treatment, quote, a violation of human rights.
Yeah, sounds like it.
The church is currently being investigated by the U.S. Attorney in Charlotte for crimes that may go back years and involve hundreds of young Brazilians.
Wow.
Yeah, it's indentured servitude. It's slavery. Yeah, it's all the shittiest things there are.
Yeah. Ship them in from Brazil, get them to work for nothing, take their passport, beat them if they don't work.
And they think, oh, it's a church. I can trust them.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully the North Carolina Attorney General isn't too Christian, or else this might go badly.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is something that, you know, if it doesn't go through there, I guarantee it could be taken up to the Supreme Court.
Well, that might not go well either now. They stole a pick. And they seated Gorsuch.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are we going to do?
But this is against a single church doing something really shitty versus a whole group of, like, the religion as a whole. So, it might be a little different.
Yeah, believe me, I think the church is bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying that. I just think that they have so much control right now.
That wraps it up for this evening's episode. Before we head over to the Patreon portion of the show, we want to thank our Patreon supporters. That would be Dr. Dan, Matt's boss from the 2SC podcast, to whom we pledge loyalty. Sorta. One of us does. Maybe. Janet Uter, Stephen Andrus, Mo Cowbell, Christy Kalbeck, Andrew Vodopich, Let Them Eat Kafefi, Larry Wilson, Marius Kotbutrikowski, Wes Aaron, Utah Outcasts, Andy Faulkner, Angelica Pearson, Jeremy Goodson, Brandy Hamrick, Alicia Gerhardt, Taylor Grin, Grant Larimer, Savadakuna, and The Gaytheist, who will be receiving his very own first-run edition, signed, autographed Godless Revolution T-shirt.
We signed it today before the show.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Aaron Burton will have that very shortly. Thank you very much for being our top Patreon supporter. If you too would like to become a Patreon supporter, you can do so for as little as $1 per episode by going to patreon.com/godlessrevolution and pledging whatever you think the show is worth and what you can afford. If you can't afford anything, then don't go over there and sign up for anything. Just listen to the free portion of the show and be happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
And if you like what we're doing and want to support us financially, then we would greatly appreciate that. And then you get extended episodes and bonus content and a bunch of other stuff. So please go and do that if you are so inclined. Mm-hmm. Until next week, crucify that like button.
Go and achieve nirvana. I forgot the first part of it again because it's all the way over here.
What's it doing over there?
It's I usually do really well each week. It's like, oh yeah, leave a review to achieve nirvana.
And as always,
towards Mecca every day.
5 times a day toward Mecca.
5 times a day. And wear sunscreen, people, and hats and clothing and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's important shit.
Cancer's not cool.
No. Terrible.
Oh. You're too punny.
Get ready. That's all I have tonight. Stuff like that. No.
Lots of puns.
Not really. I can't it would take me a lot of work to just do puns as I go through these stories. I get too angry and puns kind of go away.
You're not going to time his ass?
No. That's a threat I'm not going to live up to.
Can't even sing fucking holiday songs anymore.
Actually,
go.
Since we have this break,
wee. Oh my God!
You're making me laugh and making my tummy hurt.
That fucking broke me.
That was fun.
Oh. I need to go to the bathroom. I was just like, I wonder what Bigfoot's gonna say. It was one of those it was one of those things where I was just like passively listening, you know, and just kind of thinking, you know, kind of lost in my own thoughts, like, I'm going to have to pause this in a minute, or I wonder how long this is going to go. And then you get to what Bigfoot is going to say, and I'm thinking, I wonder what Bigfoot would say. And then it's just a bunch of screams, and that fucking, it just totally caught me off guard.
From Taboo. Are you going to be able to do the show, man? Sorry, I should have done that last.
This comes to us from Raw Story. It says, a North Carolina church that is already under investigation for kidnapping a gay man and attempting to beat his homosexuality out of him is once again in the... Sorry.
Oh,
that's not at all funny.
What?
But
No, that came out at a bad time.
You still got Bigfoot on the mind.
I do.
The funny thing is that was like the worst sentence ever.
Sorry.
Okay.
Let me try that again. A North Carolina church. Wait. A North Carolina church that is already under investigation. Oh my God. Okay. This is my serious face.
A North Carolina church that is already under investigation for kidnapping a gay man and attempting to beat his homosexuality out of him is once again in the spotlight.
He's going to beat his homosexual out of him?
Yes.
Oh, man.
Rub the bad stuff out.
After it is revealed that the church members have been importing worshippers from Brazil.
We can't use this cut.
No, this has got to be a do-over.
Yeah, I might as well stop you right now.
Okay.
We need a mulligan.
We're going to do a do-over.
Cue up the reverent piano music.
This story was sent in to us from listener of the show and our friend Taboo. Apparently there is a church in North Carolina that is being investigated for importing hundreds of Brazilian worshippers and turning them into slaves.
Yes, which is pretty shitty.
Yeah.
That's real shitty.
It's something that we would expect churches to do. I mean, the Bible says it's okay. Why not, right?
Yeah.
This is from Raw Story. It says a North Carolina church that is already under investigation for kidnapping a gay man and attempting to beat his homosexuality out of him is once again.
Why?
I can just hear your voice that you're going to lose it.
I wasn't looking at anything. I just heard it.
I know. I was looking down like, don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. Don't make eye contact. Yes, you knew the word homosexuality was coming up and you started laughing again.
I think I would have been.
Because it's at the same part.
I think I would have been okay, but then I heard you.
Sorry, dude. You know how you can hear when someone's smiling? Like, it just kept getting bigger and bigger, like, as you were reading on. And then when you got to that part, there was just a tiny bit of a stutter, and I'm like, what the? Dude.
Should we do a not-so-serious story next?
I was just thinking that. Yeah.
Yeah, let's table this for a minute. You do.
Okay, I'll try.
You do something.
You do you.
I have a sciencey one.
Yeah, do the kid, because that's a heartwarming story.
Yeah.
And it's okay to laugh during a heartwarming story.
Okay. Here, I'll start a new thing.